Welcome to the Dr. Joy Show with your host, Dr. Joy.
Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. I thank you very much for joining me on this wonderful venture. It is my expectation that this show continues to inspire, educate, and stimulate your mind as we explore a variety of interesting topics. As always, my guests will be from all walks of life, and we will walk and talk together about relationships, mental illness, health issues, money, religion, culture, and any other current event happening around the globe. Please let me know you're watching by sending an email to the Dr. Joy Show at AOL.com. Joining us today will be two distinctive women of destiny, where they will discuss their aspects of dating and comment on what the men had to say. I would like to send a most gracious thank you for those that have sponsored this episode. Hello, and welcome to the Dr. Joy Show. I'm your host, Dr. Joy, and I would love to introduce two special guests, Ms. Ricks and Dr. Burkeen. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Dr. Joy.
How are you?
Great.
Great. So you guys seen the video clip?
Yes.
Or you're going to see it. Another one, anyway. So I would just, first of all, like to start off by asking you, what is your take on relationships and dating? Ms. Ricks, we can start with you.
Well, relationships and dating, it really depends on who you ask and what time that you ask them.
Okay.
Relationships can be a wonderful thing, and it can also be very complicated.
Yes.
Dating, same thing. But with dating, that's the only way you're ever going to get to know anyone. So if you just get out there and do it.
Exactly. What about you, Dr. Burkeen?
Well, I feel that we are in a special time at this point because I feel that we don't have enough role models to actually teach us how to effectively date and how to effectively be in relationships, especially in the African American community. So I do agree with her. It's a wonderful thing. I think a lot of people are looking for relationships and they want to date, but I think it's important for us to know how to date and how to be in a successful relationship. So I think we have a lot of work to do.
Great. Pretty good. Well, Ms. Ricks and Dr. Burkeen, we're going to take a trip to the past. We're going to see a previous show of what the men had to say about dating and relationships. Let's take a look.
You're welcome. And dating has been so fantastic in the city of Atlanta, and I'm finding that people need to learn how to relate to each other.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to dating and being equally yoked with each other.
Okay.
And one of the things that I think happens when you consider aspects of dating is that sometimes we do, in stage 1 of dating, things that should be reserved for stage 4 of dating. Okay. And when you have those kind of aspects going on, then I think that that's what challenges a lot of people in relationships because maybe they're not equally yoked. Okay. And that's one of those things, if you're not equally yoked, then you're going to find yourself in trouble.
Ms. Ricks, so you heard Rod Mack, as he stated that dating was pretty good for him. What do you think of that?
Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yes, they are.
And I'm very happy that dating was good for him. Some of us have different experiences. And it just depends on what part of town you're on, what type of person, if you're a social person, if you like getting out, meeting new people, if you're not so much of a social person. So it just really depends on the type of person that you are and what you're looking for. So I can't believe how he could say that. But, you know, like I said, some of us have had different experiences.
Yes. How about you, Dr. Burkeen?
I can understand where he's coming from. I think dating can be a good thing because it teaches you what to look for, how to successfully date. You should know very quickly by when somebody is talking what they're really about. Also, I know in the word it says, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So I think that, you know, as he begins to go out there dating, he might find that good person. So I think that dating can be a great thing if you know how to do it right.
Absolutely. And also, it is stated that men have a better chance at it than we do.
Yes.
Okay, because there's so many women in the world, not only in Atlanta, Georgia, but just in the world, because when I moved here back in 1990, it was told to me that for every man, there's probably, 15 women? What is your take on that?
I do agree. There's a lot of, young women out here that also are maybe a little more needy for a man, I think also, and that can cause problems because that's for females that really want to get to know and take their time in relationships. It gets complicated because we're standing and setting a standard, and I think that we need to make sure that men understand what our standard is, and although there's a small amount of men out there, we still are going to set a standard for ourselves and for that man that we're trying to be interested in.
Okay. Now, you mentioned a standard. Now, do you think or do you feel that men know what that standard is, or is that something that's written in a book somewhere?
I think we set the standard as women.
Okay.
I feel like in Atlanta, Georgia, there's almost a desperate sense that we have as women that we have to get married, we have to be in this relationship, and I just take whatever I can get. And I think that if we set a standard and say, listen, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm going to take, and this is what I need from you, and also give that same thing, then I think there's going to be a man can actually stand up and say, I can do this or I can't. But if we just yield ourselves without even thinking about it and giving whatever we have very quickly, then there's no appreciation for that.
Okay, great. And you guys did see the snip from Pastor Victor DeMontate as he mentioned the 4 stages of dating. Ms. Riggs, can you comment on that? Do you agree on those 4 stages, or do you have some stages that you would like to come up with? Possibly?
I do agree with the 4 stages. I agree that those stages are going to look different depending on the couple, and I agree that they do occur in a different sequence.
Yes.
And I do believe that that's the ideal situation. We like to progress from getting to know someone and then furthering on to something more serious. But it's going to depend on who the person that you meet, and as Dr. Burkett said, setting those standards and not being afraid to stick to those standards and not being afraid to feel over-intimidating or things like that. Just being who you are and, making a stand for that and progressing through those different stages if that's the way you want to take the dating situation.
Okay. And thinking back at those 4 stages, one thing that he mentioned was trusting. I don't know you enough to trust you. And I don't know about you all's past experiences or not, but do you have the experience that when you meet someone that they have the tendency of rushing into the situation? Yes. Give me your social security number, give me your wallet, yes. Are you going to cook me dinner? Right. So, at what point do those things fall in place, and where?
I really believe that you need to trust your instincts.
Okay.
When you meet someone early on, you can sort of get a vibe or just kind of just feel their energy and understand where it's going to go and how far you want to go with that person. Just trust your gut instincts when it comes to that.
Okay. And when in trusting your gut instincts, are you truthful to them? Because sometimes, now maybe not you two, but some ladies do lead men on to make them think that, yes, I like you and we're going to be an item only because he has, what do they call it, benefits today? Okay, yes, benefits.
Right.
And so we tend to attach onto them to obtain some of those benefits, but actually our heart really isn't in it. So it sort of throws men off. So what do you have to say about that, Dr. Burkeen?
Well, I think that you shouldn't be in a relationship just for materialistic things. I feel like I think there's so many emotional people. I just give example. I went on a date and the guy was like, well, you're not affectionate enough for me. I said, I don't even know your last name. I can't even pronounce your first name. And he was looking for affection already. And I feel like we need to slow it down because it's not the physical things that are going to sustain and keep us or the material things. It's, are you intellectual? Can we be on the same? Are we able to walk together? Even talk about being evenly yoked or yoked together. Can we walk in that same path? Do we have the same vision? It takes time to know that.